We're talking Manchester United, Augie, because you've been writing some things, but first we want to tackle some transfer rumours because you know they are swirling. Let's start off with Jude Bellingham. A lot of people seem to be excited about this one. So what's the likelihood of United actually landing his signature?
They've got competition, United. I think Arsenal are quite keen, Borussia Dortmund, and I think that probably the main competition comes from Dortmund because they've got a track record of taking English players abroad at a young age and turn them into players. I mean, Jadon Sancho is the obvious example, and you can go beyond that with people like Gio Reyna. They do like a young player that they can turn into a star. So if Bellingham looks around and thinks when I'm going to play, if he looks at Dortmund, he's got an obvious, roadmap to the team. But I think United, they were quite keen to get him in January and went quite close. I think it boils down to how United will pay for it. I think Birmingham need the money. They would rather have the fee around about 20 million up front, get it all done. United's way of working is to pay over a period of time. So it may boil down to how United are prepared to pay. And if somebody like Arsenal or Dortmund are ready to pay a bigger fee straight down, then that's what will happen. We've seen it over the years. United, they can miss out on players if they don't do what the buying club wants. Aaron Ramsey went to Arsenal back in the day, and even Gareth Bale went to Tottenham. When United had these players, basically in the office ready to sign, but they didn't do the deal, get it over the line. So different times, a different regime at the club. But that is what it boils down to. Will United pay the big money up front now or pay it over instalments?
Well, speaking of paying big money, I know you're going to laugh at this one, and I can't wait to hear what you think of this one. But another name that's been floating around, a name that carries a lot of weight, but also a lot of wages, James Rodriguez. Any likelihood of that, would United, because on paper, they look like they could afford him, but does it even make sense, this rumor?
I think I should kind of replay the button on this from 2014, 2015, 2016, every year since, because, James Rodriguez is a great player, a great talent, but first of all, United don't really need a player in that position. They brought in Bruno Fernandes, they got Paul Pogba, they're looking at Donny van de Beek at Ajax. They're not exactly short of players, even Juan Mata, let's not forget Juan Mata who's still in the books. They don't need players in that role. Now, James Rodriguez has kind of floated around for the last 3 or 4 years he's not really loved at Real Madrid. He's gone to Bayern Munich and he's done okay, but not fantastically. So this basically is a story that Real Madrid want to get rid of James Rodriguez. They want to cash in on James Rodriguez. Which clubs out there right now can afford James Rodriguez? Well, Man United, Chelsea maybe, a couple of others, PSG. So I'd imagine over the next few days, all these clubs will be linked with James Rodriguez just so that people know that he's available. But it's not going to happen. I mean, that ship sailed so long ago. 2014 was probably the best chance that United could have got James Rodriguez, but Real made him their superstar signing from the World Cup, and since then he's not really been the player that we thought he'd be. So I don't see James Rodriguez going to Man United anytime soon or in the future.
All right, well, let's talk about what you've been working on and writing right now, because like we said, all these transfer rumors are getting us excited. It seems like Chelsea are looking to do good business. United hopefully will be doing good business too. And that probably makes for an exciting title race come next season, which you think will be a lot more narrow than what we're seeing now. Why is that?
Yeah, I think in any normal summer, I think, the top two, Liverpool and City, would strengthen and they kind of maintain their gap over the rest because, they are quite a way ahead. But, Liverpool missed out on Timo Werner, and Jurgen Klopp has admitted over the weekend that it was basically down to money, that he couldn't do a £50 million deal for a player, have to talk about players about, he said it wage waivers basically, but with no big pay rise at Liverpool. So if Liverpool can't afford to do a deal that's £53 million for Timo Werner, Man City, obviously they've got their issue right now with UEFA and CAS appealing against the 2-year Champions League ban. Even if that is halved, City are going to struggle to buy players this summer because players don't want to play outside the Champions League. So I think Chelsea and United have got a real chance to close the gap because they're both able to spend money. Chelsea still, they have now spent the Eden Hazard money. They spent it on Hakim Ziyech and they spent it on Timo Werner. They'll spend some more money. United will spend, I think they'll get Sancho. They'll try and get Bellingham, people like Donny van de Beek as well. So, they've got Pogba coming back. They've got Bruno Fernandes already there. So I think that because the top two aren't going to be able to strengthen as they normally would this summer, Chelsea and United have got a real chance of closing the gap. And I think if they do it properly, if they buy the right players, I think next season, when it starts, probably mid-September, I think we could be looking at a 4-way title race.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.